Master James Jones.
D.B.T.D. I promise I'll explain at the end. People utilize the gym for different reasons. Some play basketball, some run on a treadmill, some use the elliptical or stationary bike, all in which helps enhance the cardiovascular system. Some use dumbbells, the squat rack, or perhaps even the bench press. Of course, these machines help develop the muscular system. But where do we go to strengthen our minds? Surely our mental capacity is deserving of exercise as well. Unfortunately, there aren't many facilities designed for such training. If so, the story I'm about to share probably wouldn't exist. In life, it's likely that at some point you may experience financial difficulties, which can lead to stress or depression. On July 28th, I had the unfortunate responsibility of informing an individual that due to him being severely behind on rent, he had 72 hours to come up with the money. If not, then at 96 hours, I would be back to conduct a forceful ejectment of him and his belongings. After examining the legal documents I handed to him, he took a long, deep breath, acknowledged the seriousness of the matter, and assured me that he'd satisfy his contractual obligations or he'd voluntarily remove himself prior to the 96-hour deadline. For the purpose of this story, I'm going to call this individual Mr. Chris. 72 hours later, Monday, July 31st, I contacted the landlord to inquire about the outcome. The landlord, named Mary, informed me that she had not heard from Chris, nor had she received funds satisfying his debt. I informed her that tomorrow at 10 o'clock, I'd be there to conduct the eviction. Tuesday, August 1st. It's 9:30 a.m. I arrived early to mentally prepare for the events that were about to take place. I'm a little nervous because this would be my first eviction without an experienced constable observing my actions. To be honest, this was actually my 5th day on the job. At 9:45, I called Mary to inform her that I was there and that she needed to have herself, along with the maintenance crew, to remove items from inside of the residence to outside of the property line if necessary. She informed me that they were ready and would be outside of the apartment in 5 minutes. At 9:50, Mary, myself, and a few maintenance men were gathered outside the apartment's front door. One of the maintenance men arrived 3 minutes later on a golf cart, stating that he'd just seen a trash can outside of Chris's door about an hour ago. In my mind, I was running possible scenarios of the outcome following the next 7 minutes. Most likely, I would enter the apartment and Chris, along with his belongings, would no longer be present. 10 a.m. I give 12 strong authoritative knocks. Constable Jones, James Island Magistrate Court. Silence. I asked Mary if she had a key to the residence. She said yes, and proceeded to unlock the deadbolt. Once it was open, she turned the knob and gave it a push. About a fifth of the door was ajar. Then Mary looks back at me and says, "I don't feel comfortable going in first. You mind leading the way?" As a 250-pound, muscular, former active duty Marine combat war veteran, of course, I replied, as I bravely stepped around her to lead the way. Once inside, to my surprise, all of Mr. Chris's belongings were still present. The apartment was clean, no trash in the can, no dishes in the sink, and it was oddly cold inside. In fact, it was freezing. Mr. Chris had the thermostat set to 60 degrees. As I slowly inched myself forward, with my head on a swivel, announcing my presence, I keep my hand by my force multiplier as I carefully checked each room to ensure no one was present. Constable Jones, James Island Magistrate Court. Constable Jones, anybody in here? Constable. Oh my God! Easy now. At that instant, Mary and the maintenance men took off out the front door and down the hall. With my hand now wrapped around the pistol grip, Marine training kicked in as I looked right, left, while stepping to the rear, trying to gain the tactical advantage and a more defensive posture. My heart was racing, blood pumping, adrenaline on 100 as I struggled to comprehend what I was witnessing. What I saw was a lifeless Chris hanging in the doorway. His face, his hands, blue. No blood flow. Parachute cord, firmly secured around an air conditioning vent, hoisted his body in the air by the neck. He was dressed in business casual attire. Financial stress had gotten the best of him. At this time, Mary and the maintenance men were peeking back around the corner like Scooby-Doo characters as I instructed them to dial 911 because we had a body to deal with. The proper authorities arrived and took charge of the scene. That was the end of Mr. Chris. His story serves as a reminder that even in our darkest moments, there are people who care deeply about us. No matter how overwhelming life may seem, reaching out and talking about our problems can lead to understanding, support, and hope. My fellow Toastmasters, this tale concludes with the assurance that in the face of despair, there's always help, and there's always people willing to listen, because every life is precious and worth saving. And now for the moment you've all been waiting for.
Knock me out.
D.B.T.D means death beyond the door.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Excellent. I had a feeling when you said it was really cold in there,